I also, when I look at the two of them together, I think Peter Schrager's worked with him. Peter Schrager spent a lot of time in Atlanta covering them. What do you make of the two of them together?
Yeah, they won the press conference, I'll tell you that. I mean, this was all good feelings in San Francisco yesterday, and even the local media, who's been very harsh on the Niners in recent years, has to at least come and say that these guys are impressive. Now, what do I make of it? Well, John Lynch called the divisional round game between the Seahawks and Falcons, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. And on the broadcast, I was on the sidelines, John Lynch says, people ask me, would Kyle Shanahan make a good coach? Hell yes, he'd make a good coach. And all along in his head, he's thinking this might be it. And those two guys have done so much stuff together as a broadcaster and an offensive coordinator in the production meetings that they got to know each other a little bit. And there was a lot of criticism of hiring Lynch out of the broadcast booth, but what he said was a great point. He's in NFL buildings every week the past 6 years.
Yeah.
So when you go and you do a game on Fridays, you're talking to the offensive coordinators, you're talking to the head coaches, you're talking to the players. Are you in the film room? Yeah, you are, because you're watching to prepare for the game.
The preparation's like crazy. Nobody has any idea how.
The preparation's insane. So Lynch might know the NFL as well, if not as well, as any of these other GMs who work for one team only and are focusing on one team. He's seen them all. As for Kyle, we know how that Super Bowl ended. Not great. But guess what? We'll go up from here. And these two guys, the key in San Francisco, the whole thing was that there was unison and there was a marriage, and they're now tied to each other with contracts, but also on the same page. I can't tell you enough how ugly that Harbaugh and Balky stuff was. And then last year down the stretch, Chip and Balky didn't go either. So
That's
for
right.
Jed York,
the chemistry was like paramount this whole time.
so he said speed dating. Okay, we were saying it all along that like it was weird that they were flying in. No. Lynch and Shanahan, they know each other. Best friends. Everyone's under the assumption that they go back 30 years. They don't. They know each other. They respect each other. And Kyle Shanahan basically had the choice of who he wanted as his general manager. He said, rather take that guy out of the broadcast booth than that guy who's been a scout for 20 years and might have the skins on the wall from being at the East-West Shrine game the last 15 seasons. So now you have John Lynch, who, say what you want, that's an impressive guy.
It is.
You know, that's it.
Yeah, and listen, they won the press conference. I gotta say, it was sort of an awkward press conference to watch, too, because of the way the Super Bowl ended with Shanahan. And you got a lot of questions about that. And it was reported that you said you blew it. And you said, I don't know if I said that, but it sounds like me. It's a weird dynamic, right? Because it's like he had this incredible job and just like blew his final presentation. It was a disaster. And then he goes on to a better job. And he says, I got to watch film on Kaepernick. Heavy weighs the crown on these head coaches. Look at guys like Matt Patricia and McDaniels who aren't going anywhere. Kyle Shanahan's going to show up. There's no Julio. There's no Matt Ryan. He doesn't have two-star running backs. He's not playing in a dome. He's got to play Pete Carroll twice a year. Jeremy Curley. Yeah, I mean, that ain't the Falcons. That's not the best offense we've ever seen. I'm glad he's got his bro there, his speed dating bro, because they got their work cut out for him, guys.
Honestly, I'm going to take a page out of Bill Belichick on Jimmy Fallon and say, kumbaya, they can all hang out and have their kumbaya.
Oh, never his first time.